Hello all my little storms and welcome back to another stream. And today we're gonna just be doing some cozy chatting today. So, without any further ado, if we're gonna be doing cozy chatting, we might as well pull up the little story. We might as well pull the little guys up. Well, technically they descend from the sky, so I think it's very fitting enough. I don't know why I cough. But today we're gonna be answering questions from just doing a little Q&A. That's why it's called Ask the Art. We're just doing some questions and answers. But before we do that, today's stream is brought to you by me. I have a comic that's currently up and available, which has the prologue and also chapter 1. Chapter 2 will be released on July 26th. I'm aiming for July 26th, but we don't know. But if you want to go and read it now, it is live and available on my website. I am not on Webtoon, and I will never be on Webtoon, so don't ask me. Just, it's too much predatory, and I don't really want to post it anywhere unless I know it is safe and secure. And also, I hate scroll comics. I just hate how their layout is, so don't ask me. I have my own method. Let me do what I please. Other than that, I also have merch available, which eventually we are going to be getting some merch that is pertaining to that of the comic, also, I'm an affiliate with Candle, and I have a promo code that you can use. If you use Art Creates, again, that is Art Creates at checkout, you will get 15% off of your order. So if you go onto the Candle website through either my affiliate link, you can go and use the promo code Art Creates. That is capital A Art and capital C for Creates, and you will get 15% off of your entire order. So it also helps support me and supports other VTubers because you can get some interesting scents. And they also have some 18 plus scents as well.
Every candle you order is a candle I get to eat.
Yeah, exactly. See? You get to sustain George's candles eating addiction. We're trying to help him. George is getting help. All right, I think that's it for advertising. That's why I always have my little advertising thing there, because sometimes I don't advertise it myself. There's a reason it's there. But anyways, if you
support my candle addiction, quitting candles is for losers.
No, George, stop it. But I was gonna say, hold on, I'm trying to think. If you want to support me and support the channel further, you can either do it on Ko-Fi. I also have tips available, and yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Oh, I do have Ko-Fi memberships, but honestly, I don't really care about them. I think like my lowest is like $1 a month. My highest is like $5. But Ko-Fi is definitely not like Patreon. I can't like put up extreme NSFW work, so I don't even draw that stuff, so don't even ask me. I'm gonna be honest, I've been like thinking about getting a Patreon, but now I'm like, but a lot of people are now saying like, oh, go over to Subscribestar, because Subscribestar is better, and I'm like, look, I'm gonna end up with like a bunch of other places, and then I'm gonna end up with like so many people going like, where the heck do I click? Ko-Fi is just easier. And you don't even have to be a supporter in order to get access to the shop, so, because I have stuff on there. But anyways, without any further ado, that's the end of the ads. I wish I could sum it down better, and we're gonna get into But before we get into the questions, I'm gonna turn on the fan. It is hard. It is hard. Yes. No, it is hot. It is hot. Today may be a short stream. I'll give lots if you give me if Give me too many links. I'll get lost if you give me too. Yeah, I think a lot of people get lost. Because the other thing is then you have to like reestablish yourself on like another platform. So, like if I had the time to make the problem is with having a Patreon and stuff like that is like you need to have other people that you can pay in order to do your work, like in order to do work for you. I don't have that kind of money, and that's why. Maybe later down the line, I might get like something else other than Ko-Fi, but yeah.
Speaking of links, Ganon hasn't been around, totally not related to me asking for kisses, so come and rescue me, Linky boy.
Oh my gosh, yeah. But anyways, oh, you guys, I don't know if you guys saw on Twitter, but earlier today, like literally today, I was like, you know what? I kind of want to work on a little bit of some work on my 2.0 a little bit. And I've been debating this around a little bit, but I might redraw the entirety of my 2.0. And the reason being is because I don't like it. I don't know. I think it's the thing of like it's sat with me for so long that I'm just like I feel like I need to redraw it. So I'll be redrawing that stuff. Is this right? Promising. No monster form question. There is a monstrous form for the 2.0. But it's like I need to just when I'm saying like redraw it, it's just like I'm just redoing it. Not the design will still stay the same. It's just me updating like how I want it to look, like a little bit of a so the body and silhouette shape might look a little bit different, but like it's still gonna look exactly the same. The hair is gonna be the same, the crown is gonna be the same, the horns are gonna be the same. The face might be a little bit different because I want to do it differently. But like the dress and everything, all of the design aspects still exactly the same. I'm just like changing like shapes a little bit. That's been it. But everything is so much. When I say like quote redrawing, I mean like I'm taking it and just updating it. Because I think it's just like the other thing is whenever I go into that file, there's so many freaking layers because it's been being prepared to go for live 2D. And I think right now there's so much stuff going on that I need to simplify it more. So that's why I need to like update it. So I'm basically redrawing it to prepare it for live 2D. That's what I also have to do with my male model as well. The male I have no issues with. I think it looks fine.
A new polish.
A new polish, yeah, like a new polish. So the design is still going to be the same. So don't worry about like if you guys are drawing fan art or anything like that. No, it's okay. It's everything is still pretty much the same. I will say it's just it just needs an update. That's what it needs. Because the other thing is I want to break down a little bit more because I want to do some more pose stuff. And I think like when I was drawing a few of the things, I didn't really understand how to do the hands a lot. But now that I have had time to sit and how to draw the hands, because remember, with this new model, I have my arms are very much, if you know Buff Pup, it's very much like reminiscent of that, but I have 3 fingers, so I have to redraw or relearn how to like draw like for that hand in particular. So it's a lot. The good thing though is that for the little storms for you guys your next evolution into chaotix, you guys are all fine. I already made your mascot. I may update it a little bit because I think it's a little too detailed for a mascot. And what I mean like a little too detailed, I think like I want to simplify it a little bit more. It's already pretty simple. The shapes are basically circles and cylinders. But I may want to simplify it a little bit more. I might look at other mascot designs that I've seen people have and just kind of get a little bit inspired about that. but I do like how it looks. It kind of reminds me, does anyone remember Lilo and Stitch? Do you remember, like, Lilo had that little plush doll? Yeah, it kind of reminds me of that. I think the reason that it reminds me of that is just because of the way it looks, of how I wanted to do. I think it's also the body shape too, because I'm kind of going for that kind of body shape with it. So, but yeah. So that's what I'm kind of thinking for. But yeah. I think that's pretty much it for like updates and things like that I wanted to talk about. But we'll get into the questions now. By the way, if you guys have any questions that you want to ask me like in the stream, I just say that they have to be safe for work, and they can be about advice, they can be about art advice, streaming advice, VTubing advice, can be about any of that. Okay, so Pug, you did ask me one thing. I don't understand. Art, hello Rowan. Pug, I don't know what favorite comeback is. Can you elaborate on that? I literally kept sitting with this, and I was like, I feel like I'm losing brain cells while trying to think of this. Rowan came at the best time because we're gonna be answering questions now. But basically, you guys can ask me anything about like safe for work topics. Like, comeback in an argument. I mean, if you're talking about like joke comebacks, there's plenty of times where I've just said "D's nuts." If someone's insults you, what do you respond with? Oh, okay. I have a good one. Okay, I have some good ones. You know what? We'll start with a funny one. Of favorite comebacks. Okay. If somebody if somebody argues, okay, so some people have argued, insert last thing they said, add your face. Oh my gosh, yeah, that's true. You know what the funny thing is? Sometimes when people would say, because I'm a plus size girly, okay? Sometimes when people, you're an idiot. Your face is an idiot. Yes. I've done that before. Oh my gosh. That just made them mad. That just made them madder. For jokes, sometimes I don't know why, but I'll just do a comeback with a joke of, well, you ain't got these nuts. And then I go, got him, and I walk away. They're like so dumbfounded because the joke didn't even have anything to do with these nuts. I just do that. But that's my greatest joke comeback, like in a joke. But in an argument, most of the times this happened when I was, I think some people would do, if they were, like, talking about, like, how fat you were, I would literally reply with, like, well, your mama's fat, so at least she likes me. At least we have something in common. That's a bad one, but, like, it's funny, because it makes them, because it does two things. It either makes them mad, but they don't know how to respond, or two, they laugh, so... or sometimes the greatest comeback when like a guy is being like really really creepy on you, start talking to him like he's 5 years old, or better yet, start talking to him like you're a toddler, asking a million questions. It's so great to see their face just like go what, they just short circuit. Or can you just chase him? I mean, the greatest comeback that I have for dealing with creepy men is literally to look at them and just go, so you're my next victim. I mean, friend. And they fucking run. Because immediately when you, like, do it in such, like, a weird way... It's just so great. Or when they ask you, hey, can you give us a smile? I stare at them unblinkingly, smile, and then start turning my head slowly. And I keep doing it until they stop. And they get just creeped out. It's great. You can't tell. Well, no, I know that. You get catcalled and run towards them at full speed. Bruh. Actually, to be honest... No, but the thing is, if you run at them, I feel like they think that they got you, and it's like, nah. No, run at them in the weirdest possible way. Get catcalled, run at them in the weirdest of possible way. They will never catcall again. Okay, I'll get the tweezers. Oh my gosh. That's the greatest one ever. That's great. I love that. Women have thought of a million ways of how to shut down men, and it's great. I will say, either act really creepy or ask them a million questions. Those are the two ones that really work, because no one wants to really end up with a creepy girl. And like, they say that they do because they're like, oh, creepy girls are freaks. And I'm like, do you really want to be with that? And honestly, they can't get over the creepiness. And now I hear women complain about not getting catcalled. There are a few women that like being catcalled a lot, but I think it's because they value a lot of their self-worth and how they look based off of other people. So they think like getting catcalled is like the best thing in the world, when in reality, no, it's not. It's really not. I think it's just it's just things that have happened in society, because we live in a society. Because we live in a society. Anyways. Okay, Joker. Wow, moving from Batman to Joker. Yeah, well, we do live in a society, so... Wait, is that where the meme comes from? Is the Joker movie? Okay, I've never seen the Joker movie, so that makes sense. I'm not a big DC girly. I'm not a huge superhero fan. I like superheroes, I like the stories, but I'm not a big fan of it. I'm more of a story girly. I don't know, it's something to do with the Joker, I think. Yeah, that's what I thought as well. Anyways, let's move on to other questions. We're gonna move on to another funnier one. Stupid thing that you want to imitate. Huh? You know what's funny? Watching a woman deflate from rejection for I don't know, man. I'm packing photo cards. Oh my gosh. But what was it? Stupid thing that you want to imitate. And okay. So I wrote down two. The reason being is because both of these are really stupid, but both of these also pertain to stream, and I think are really funny because they're both stupid. One is really nerdy, and the other one is, do I have a death wish? So the first one that is more stupid is, I want to do a Final Fantasy boss fight that stream can interact with. Like, I don't know if anyone remembers, Nanners did this when she was in Vshojo, like a long time ago, where it was like a whole boss fight and the chat had to like do stuff in order to fight back against her. I just think that that's so cool, and I would love to do that for like the 2.0 debut, and the reason being is you're gonna see in the comic why. But I thought it would be really cool, but the thing is, me, what money, and what coding experience. So that's something stupid, because like you have to have good, at least you either have to have really good knowledge. I think I could artistically be able to do it, but I don't have the coding knowledge to do it. I'm not that smart. Remember, you cannot spell smart without art, but for some reason, I am not smart. So somebody better hand over the S and M because I need it. I apparently need it to finally get the smarts. Those are the two brain cells. The S and the M is what I need to finish, to gain smartness. I don't know if any of y'all realize that you can't spell smart without art. And what am I not? I'm not smart. Bro, these CT cells, I know, right? Anyways, the other thing I want to do, like, / imitate is, like, the Hot Wings challenge. I've seen so many people do these, like, the Hot One, it was the Hot Ones challenge. Yeah, I want to do that. But the thing is that I can only handle spice up to a certain degree. Because I'm white, and we can only handle so much spice. But the other thing is, I'm actually really good with spice. I'm one of I'm one of the probably few people that I know around in my area that actually, well, that's white, that actually enjoys eating really spicy foods. Like my boyfriend, who's Mexican, yeah, Jose is Latino, and he hates spice. He cannot handle spice. Me, love that stuff. Love spicy food. So it's so funny, because if it's spicy, he'll just hand it to me. And if I can't finish it, I hand it to him back, and he doesn't eat it because it's too spicy for him. I'm like, sir, you're a disgrace to you're a disgrace to your bloodline. He's like, I know. But I do want to do that. That's a stupid thing. My butt may die, but I did something cool. Pug, I don't know why you asked this. What's my favorite shape? So you know what? I'm gonna give you the best answer ever. A rhombus. If you don't know what a rhombus is, go look it up. It's the best shape. Rhombuses are cool. I feel like a lot of people might be like, oh, a circle or a cylinder or the square hole. No, I'm like, rhombus. A rhombus is good. You heard it here first, folks. Art's favorite shape is a rhombus, not anything else. I feel like other people might answer that differently. Like, I know for a fact that people would say, would probably say a cylinder. And if anybody asked why, they would go, you know why. And I'd be like, yeah, yep, not surprised with the lewdness there. Anyways. Even the word AT plus stream, I'm trying not to be lewd with these questions. I'm trying to answer these actually as honestly as I can. But yeah, again, if you guys have any questions that you want answered, you can ask them. Like, I don't know. I don't know what you can ask. I don't know what people ask. The thing is that some people might be like, why? Well, you can ask art advice, streaming advice, VTuber advice, anything. You can ask for advice too. Because our next question is advice that you wish you had when you started. I'm still packing. Okay. Advice you wish you had when you started. So I'm gonna reiterate some things that people have said. So just excuse me while I reiterate them, because I think it's just great advice that people need to get through their heads. 1, you do not need a really beefy computer or like a great, like you don't need to invest a lot of money into being like a streamer. Okay, I started and still am streaming currently right now, have been streaming on this particular laptop that I am streaming on for like the past the past like 3 years. I literally used to stream on my Xbox. Yeah, exactly. You just stream with what you have available. Do not think that you need to spend money. Now, the only time that you would have to spend money is if you didn't have it. Like, I can understand that situation. If you didn't have it, then I guess you could, start out with something. But you don't need to get something big. You can get something small, start streaming on that, and do that. And by the way, for a really long time, I didn't have a mic. I just used the mic that was built into the laptop. That was my first mic. I didn't get my Hyper XL, like hyper whatever, this thing. I didn't get this until like about a year into streaming, which by the way cost like $160. All right, and still don't understand how to use the mic. Okay. I bought the big computer and then thought it would be good for streaming. Like, yeah, if you already like have a computer ready and set to like be able to do like streaming stuff, like, yeah, cool. Like right now I'm saving up to be able to upgrade to that big computer, but like it's been several years in the making for me to be able to get up to there. Because the thing is that the reason that I say don't buy anything is because what if you buy all this stuff for streaming and then you don't like streaming? So it's basically a way so you're not wasting your money. Because a lot of people don't talk about why do you not invest. It's because if you invest a lot of money and then you don't like streaming, you just wasted all that money for nothing. Now, yes, of course, you could still play your like extreme amount of games or whatever like that if you are a gamer or whatever. But don't do anything that's that extreme unless you know that you're going to actually pick this up as a career, and then start thinking about upgrading. And the first thing that you should always upgrade is going to be your mic. Thankfully, I did have people that gave me this extreme advice. So that's another thing of advice. The first thing, no webcam, no nothing, whatever. There's literally a streamer right now that has the most shittiest webcam. It literally, he's literally has a Spider-Man mask on. His camera like picks up every few frames a second. I think he built his camera to be like this, but it's also just not a great camera. But it's on purpose. He's not gonna ever upgrade that camera. And that's not the point of his stuff. But he upgraded his mic, he upgraded everything else, but he's not gonna upgrade that. So you can have like a really shitty camera, and he's like got plenty of good people that continuously like and follow his stuff. So he's doing pretty well for himself. He may not have like a big following, but yeah, that talking about big following, that leads into my next thing. Don't think of numbers. Don't think about numbers. I know when you're starting out, you like to think about numbers, you like to think about getting bigger, you want, a lot of people like to say, like, you should think about growing your content. I hate this thought because the thing is that a lot of people will overthink because they're not getting a lot of followers or, like, people that are liking their stuff that they're doing poorly. No, it could just be the algorithms being terrible. Maybe it could be that, maybe your content isn't really reaching the people that it is. Like, maybe it's reaching other people that don't enjoy that content. Because that's, like, currently happening with me on TikTok. Like, I'm starting to post up my game clips again, and it's just, like, being all weird. And I just think it's because I haven't posted much, so it's kind of like refinding the people that usually like that stuff. So I have it has to readjust to find that stuff. So sometimes it's not you, sometimes it's the platform, sometimes it's other things, and sometimes you have to shift your content to kind of like focus on that stuff. I've noticed a lot with YouTube Shorts and TikToks in particular that a lot of them are focusing back again to doing like specific short form content. So no more like clips and stuff like that. But it looks like talking about stuff and all of this sort of stuff is doing a lot better. So like, you know, if you're just sitting here and talking to the screen and literally talking about like an experience, right? And actually I'm thinking about doing that a little bit here and there. It's just I have to also take time out of my day to edit it, and that's where it kind of like gets into my other time that I can spend on making the comic and other things. So you gotta like do more time balancing. Also, speaking about time balancing, time management. Like, if you're going to be streaming and stuff like that and you want to make it into some sort of a career, you got to go into doing time management and kind of figure out what works for you and what doesn't. Like, for example, for me, I have a set schedule. That set schedule is also the time when I edit and do all my stuff. So basically, I stream. After stream, I clip whatever I need to clip. I take that, edit it, and then I put it up on where it needs to go. And I also put the video, I take the video and put it up onto YouTube. Now don't instantly put it up to YouTube. It's basically like scheduled for it to come out on a certain day. And same thing with the clips, like all of that stuff is scheduled. The only place that it's not is TikTok, and TikTok I just post when I want to. I save it in drafts and then I post it up. And that's kind of how I go about doing my stuff. It's pretty easy once you get used to doing it. But you have to kind of figure out your time management about like what you want to do and what you don't want to do. And also like what is your content? What do you want your content to mainly focus on? And the great thing about when you're starting out is focus on experimenting with your content. And what I mean by that is like focus on experimenting with different stuff. Focus on doing like sometimes just chattings. Focus on doing sometimes art stuff if you want to do art stuff. But maybe like you also want to do gaming. Okay, what kind of games do you want to play? Do you like streaming these kinds of games on stream, or do you like streaming like other games on stream? Like, for example, I've been really liking how I'm doing it with doing one day of art. So I do a streaming of art. And then the other 2 days are like kind of game or freebie days. So basically we can do other things like just chatting or all of that. So I'm very much a more, I guess, a quote experimental streamer that just basically experiments with different kinds of stuff. And so eventually down the line, people get into more like niche stuff. So it depends on what you kind of want to do with your content. Just experiment, feel what you feel is right. And you know what? After a while, things are going to change and you might have to move and change your content a little bit. And that's okay. That's okay to change and move your content around. That's just kind of how it is. Because the algorithm's always changing. So you always have to like kind of shift your stuff over to the new kind of stuff. Also, another thing, when I first started out, I think a lot of people don't talk about this too. I didn't write this down, but this is definitely something to focus on. Really think about where you want to do your, like, how you want to do your content. So, do you want to do live streaming? Okay, test it out. Test it out on Twitch or test it out on YouTube. Figure out which one you like better. And I would just say, just do test streams. If you want to do streaming, do a test stream. Just literally do a test stream for a week, see how it goes. You don't have to save any of the VODs. You know, it's just a test. You don't have to save any of that. Just have fun, experiment, see where it goes. If you like streaming on Twitch, like, you know, you like the audience on Twitch, like, you know, if you mainly are on Twitch, like you mainly watch stuff on Twitch, then maybe I would recommend you doing stuff on Twitch, because that is an area you're more comfortable and familiar with. Whereas like YouTube, if you want to do YouTube stuff, do you want to do YouTube videos? Do you want to edit and make short formed videos, or like, you know, basically not doing hours upon streaming? Do you want to make more videos, or do you want to do YouTube streaming and videos? Okay, if you're going to do that, you have to think about time management. What are you going to do? When are you going to do that? And do a stream, an editing schedule. Editing schedules, or like technically content creation schedules, are just like, hey, this is when I'm doing editing, this is when I'm making the videos, these are when the videos are getting posted, this is when I'm doing streaming, this is when the clips are getting edited, and just organizes everything. I'm gonna be honest, I have one, and I've never used it, because I'm very much go on a whim kind girl. That's just how it ends up being. But if I was working with other people, I might organize it a little bit better for them and for me. But yeah, I would say, like, also experiment with where you want to post. I will say this much: if you want to be a more family friendly-esque streamer, like that's kind of your content and all of that sort of stuff, like, you know, you don't think like you're gonna go, like, I wouldn't say crazy, but I think like if you vibe with how YouTube streaming is, because a lot of YouTubers now mainly do streaming. If you vibe with how YouTube streaming is and you like the YouTube platform, then stream over there. But the problem is, read what the rules are of the TOS situation stuff, because it's going to be different streaming on Twitch than it is on YouTube. YouTube is a different beast. Twitch is another. Literally watch people. See how they do stuff. Like, you can even, in VTubing in particular, you can watch how bigger corporations do it and just see how they are and how they interact with chat. Because I'm gonna be honest here, YouTube chat is very unhinged. You think Twitch chat is very unhinged? YouTube chat is as if they're commenting on a YouTube video and like they can say whatever the hell they want. And it's not very nice most of the time. You're gonna have a lot of problems if you don't want to get backseated on anything. You're gonna have to get a lot of mods to help you out on YouTube, because a lot of people do not listen to anybody. They very much do not listen to people. So you're gonna have to be careful when on YouTube. So it's like you have to like evaluate what is the best streaming area. I would never recommend Kick. The reason being is because where you stream also gives you a reputation. So, if you don't want to have a reputation with really shitty and terrible people, which, by the way, there are shitty and terrible people on every platform, it's just Kick lets people get away with more stuff. Like, there was a situation where a streamer on Kick literally almost, basically, they left a person to almost drown. Well, they left them to drown. Thankfully, the person was okay, but the fact that that was still a live stream that was able to be streamed, didn't get taken down, and they didn't get any backlash for it from Kick. You just have to remember, when you're picking a platform to stream on, who are you streaming with and what kind of reputation is that going to give you? So that's why I do recommend for people not to stream on Kick, because there is a very interesting reputation with it. I'm not saying you can't stream on it. I'm just saying you have to be careful where you stream, because you're going to get a reputation. And yeah, I think is that a pretty good amount of stuff to help you guys with some advice of things that I wish I knew. Oh, the other thing that I wish I knew when I started streaming, it's okay if the chat is dead, especially if you're streaming. It is okay if the chat is dead. Keep talking like as if everybody in the world is listening to you. And that's actually good for just regular stuff. Keep talking like the world is listening to you. Because the world is. Because even if you're not, like, you know, this is just great advice in general. Like, talk like the world is listening to you. Because as a streamer and as a content creator, you're putting yourself out there a lot. So you do have to be a little bit mindful of what you say and what you do. But in streaming with a dead chat, just keep thinking about stuff to say. The best advice that I've been given is literally write down, like, funny stories or funny things that you can talk about. And just have, like, a little list. Have, like, a little notebook of it, and you bring it. and all of that. Now, I have heard people say that you should prepare for what you do on your stream. If you're doing a just chatting or an art stream, like those ones are a little bit more difficult on what to chat about because you're mainly focusing on art. But with just chatting, like I would say like you can probably plan it out a little bit better with like, you know, we're doing this advice and we're doing like questions, answers, all that sort of stuff and planned it out a little bit more. But when you're and when you're playing a game, I would say like have a few set goals of what you want to do in the game, right? And then just go and complete those goals, and you can always have that little clipboard of stuff that you talk about. But I'm gonna be honest out here, most of the time, most streamers do not do that. Okay? You have to really think on the fly a lot of times. And the other thing is, like, if you have an interactive chat, like, you know, you guys keep talking with me and chatting with me about different stuff, then we'll get on to topics and start discussing things, and that's really great. But when you have, like, a dead one, it is really, really hard and really just not great to be kind of, like, talking to that. So I would recommend for those moments, to do that. The other thing I've heard is don't stop talking, especially with live streaming. Yeah, it's really hard to stop talking. But like, you know, if you're doing like art or you're playing a game, sometimes it's a little easier to like not be talking constantly because you might be focusing on situations. But sometimes if you're doing a game or if you're doing art, the best advice I can give you is nobody can read your mind. So imagine that you are just narrating what you're doing. Just narrate what you're doing. And that can kind of stop those lulls. Just narrate what you're doing or what you're thinking. You know, don't narrate it as like art has gone in an epic quest to go and do this. Like, no, you don't have to do it like that. Just kind of narrate how you want to. But yeah. But I think like the biggest one that you can take away from all of this is just with the best advice that I can give you that I haven't heard anybody give is talk like the world is like everyone in the world is watching you. Because there are going to be people, like if you eventually get bigger later on, or even if you get some haters that are going to try and dig for stuff, and it's just better to be mindful of what you say and what you do. Yeah, that's like the best one I can give you. Does anyone have any other questions? We can talk about character design, VTuber design, like we can talk about a bunch of stuff if you want to do that. I feel like some people, I thought that way more people were gonna ask questions, but you know what? I'm not a big content creator or VTuber, so it's like, what would this person have for advice, right? It's like I've been streaming for 3 years. I mean, I have some knowledge. Oh my gosh. Oh, okay. Hold on. There you go. Sorry, there was a art fight attack that somebody, I had added them and they finally got to looking at it. So, I just need, it was on Twitter. I just need to respond to it because I wanted to look at if there was any more people that had asked any questions. No, there is not. Yeah, I'm not really surprised that a lot of people are not asking me questions and stuff like that. I think most of the times, like, people think that this is a bad idea to be asking questions and stuff like that. And no, it's really not. I'm gonna be honest out here, streamers that try and like gatekeep their advice and stuff, actually I'm struggling to find that we live in a society. Don't worry, I have it marked. I already have it marked of we live in a society. I've said that so many times. I need a clip of it at this point. I need to make some audio clips eventually later down the line for stream alerts and stuff like that. Oh yeah, if you... Oh my goodness. But yeah, I think that's it. I'm really not surprised that there are more questions, but the thing is that we answered it in a pretty good amount of time. I was expecting it.
We live in a frog society.
We do live in a frog society, George. We live in a society. But yeah. I'm like trying to think about stuff. Oh, you know what? I could talk about this. So I was talking about yesterday how Vshojo had auditions open, for them to, for people to join. If you're a small content creator, like a small VTuber or content creator, and you feel like you don't think that you're gonna make it, just do it. Just do it. Just record. So I did take a look at it because I wanted to kind of like see what they were asking for. Not surprising that they asked for like a 2-minute clip, right? Or 2-minute. Oh, I'm gonna snooze that. Snooze. Not surprising that they asked for like a 2-minute. But I need to make an intro video. Yeah, you need to make a 2-minute intro video. It has to be about, so basically, my thing is, here's the advice that I can give you for these intros, okay? Do not make it under a minute. What you're gonna need if you're gonna be doing these intros, literally talk about yourself, like who are you? You can, you can talk about how your stream is, what you do in your stream. You can talk about your skills, like what are your skill sets, and what are your goals as a content creator, because that gives them enough information to kind of let them know what you are, like what you do. Like, I could say like I'm a full-time gremlin that does art and a variety of games from cozy to horror. I'm an artist. I draw crazy stuff, and I've also made questionable merch items like the butt butter or whatever, and then I could like edit a butt butter up there. So like you can do stuff. By the way, you can edit it. Okay, they don't care. You can show off your editing skills if you want to show that off a little bit. You can show it off a little bit. You can also talk about like projects and stuff that you have in the works if you want to do that, if you're not like under NDA stuff. Like you can talk about that stuff. So, you can talk about projects you've worked on, like what you've done, so they can kind of get a sense of possibly maybe your passions, and again, also that's technically part of your goals to complete that stuff. So, yeah, I mean, you can go on and say what you need to say. But my recommendation would also be, if you're going to be talking about this stuff, do not make it under a minute. Do not make it over a minute. At least make it over a minute. Make it between 1 to 2 minutes. Now, don't make it exactly 1 minute. Let it go over a little bit, because you do have that 2 minutes. Make it go over a little bit. By like a few seconds at least, please. Because that's gonna give them, because that shows them in a way like, okay, you have like a lot to kind of talk about. Don't be like a 30-second intro. Also, make it fun. Make it fun. They've watched hundreds of these. Make it funny. Okay, the funnier you are, the better. That's why I would recommend like editing it. Because you can make it fun. You can add sounds effects. You can add like pictures, like weird stuff. You can do whatever you want. You can edit it so we can have fun. Just be honest with what you want to be as a content creator and who you are, like as an individual. Like, let there be serious moments in it, like, especially around your goals. And the other thing I do recommend, with your goals in particular, don't say that you want to get 1 million followers. Don't put follow goals or sub goals. We don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that kind of goal. What is your actual goal as a content creator? Like, or like, even just like, yeah, what's your goal as a content creator? Not just as a streamer or as a VTuber. Like, what's your goal as a content creator? And you better not, and don't say like you want follows and stuff like that. That's like really not cool. Because not to say that you don't want that to be a goal. Because like even I want that to be a goal. Like I want to be able to get up to 500 followers by the end of the year. But that's like kind of a goal in the sense of like, I just want to grow my community and that's it. It's not, I want to get big and popular. But sometimes it can come off as that if you don't know what you're doing. But I would recommend, if you haven't gone and like at least submitted something for Vshojo, I highly recommend that you do. Vshojo is actually really great. They do a lot for their talents, and it's really shown that they let their talents really do whatever they put their mind to, and they just go, okay, if they can't do it, they'll just say, we may not be able to do this now, but we'll put a pin in it, and if we can be able to achieve it later, we'll tell you. And that's really great. That's like a really great thing. I'm like snoozing all these ads because I'm like talking about so much important stuff right now. But yeah, so I do highly recommend, even if you're small, even if you don't like have much, just show them something. They also do allow you to upload other stuff, other than the intro. The intro is important, but they're like, hey, do you have anything else to show us? And most people probably would put their channel trailer or like a compilation of their clips. And it's actually not that difficult to make a compilation of your clips. And I actually might start doing that, where like every month I'll create like a clip compilation of like all my really best stuff that I can think of. That I can think of that are really good, and then make them into like something and then post them up as like a highlight reel or something like that. Just because it's funny. It's funny to do it. But yeah. Because I actually like doing those, because those are so stupid. And you can edit the shit out of them, so I'm not great at editing, but like Capcut has made it really easy. I'm not sponsored by Capcut, but if you like want to think about like doing stuff, I edit all my stuff with Capcut. Everything that's edited is through Capcut. Is Capcut great? Hell nah. But Capcut's free. Capcut's free. And you can do, whatever, there's certain things that you can't do, which is like, you can't like move your character around and do like timestamps and all of that you can do like with Adobe or DaVinci. But I'm like, I don't need to download a program. I don't need to do all this sort of stuff. I don't need to have the gigabyte space in order to host it. It's like all in the web, which does make it a little bit easier on me, because then if I change over to another like computer or something like that, then it's like all of that is already there and I don't need to worry about it. So it's great. You can also do voice recording in it. I discovered that recently. You can do voiceovers in it. So I mean, like, you can record something, put it in there, and then like do a voiceover. So that's great. And actually it's really, really clean. Really clean voice capture, which is good. So I highly recommend, if you want to do editing and you just want to get like you want to get your toes into it, like you want to dip your toes in it, I highly recommend CapCut. Just kind of get started. And yeah. Because then you can like, futz around with whatever you want to do. And you can always import your own stuff too. Your emotes or anything that you want to import and things. Actually, I don't think you guys have seen any of my edited stuff. Well, if you go on YouTube, you can see all my YouTube clips, or my YouTube my shorts are all edited, and the channel trailer too. You can check that out too. So see a little bit of my editing process. I'm gonna be honest, I'm a fucking lazy ass editor. I'm the laziest editor ever. I just do like, but it's like so cheap that it just makes it funnier. But yeah, but sometimes I do spend a little bit longer on editing depending on how I want it to look. So it can look cheap, but it can still come out really nice. Hi, Peppers. My little puppy here was taking a little nap. Now she's awake, and now she's going promptly back to sleep. Yep. But yeah. So I think that's it for like advice that I can give you guys. Actually, you know what? I might give you some VTubing advice. When I started out, VTubing, for after about a year. So the first year that I started, I'm not gonna really count. I'm gonna talk about the second year, because the second year was when I really started actually making this into a career. When I first started out, I thought if you didn't blow up really fast, that your career was going to be over. The truth of the matter is no. You don't need to worry about that situation. Sometimes things just, blowing up like that is very rare to happen. And you just gotta keep throwing your stuff into the ring, and it will happen. The best thing that I can tell you to do is post your content elsewhere. Not only have I created or like even grown on Twitch just from because I've grown a lot more on Twitch because of what I've been doing, which is I post my content up on YouTube. One, for archival purposes, but two, for content purposes. So every once in a while I post up like a video of like actual content, like of either from me editing down a video or taking like a highlight and editing it down, and or making even just a clip out of it, because sometimes taking a clip is way too long, so I have to highlight it. But do that if you want to make like a career out of it, or if you just want to get like found more, because that increases your search engine optimization. So for a lot of people that don't know what a search engine optimization just means, like when people search you up, they'll see that you're on all these different sites, so they can go and follow you on all those different sites. But also so that then you can grow a platform on multiple sites. I would recommend this because a lot of people are like, you need to have yourself on every single platform. No. Don't do that. What I recommend as a content creator myself, because it's going to get too much too quick if you have too many links. First off, should you have a Discord? That's up to you. If you want to interact with your community more, you can set it up. One popular thing, especially if you're a VTuber, you have to be on Twitter. You have to be on Twitter if you're a VTuber. Be on there. Everyone's on there. Twitch and YouTube, either you're gonna have Twitch be your main place, or you're gonna have YouTube be your main place. What that just means is that either you're mainly streaming on Twitch, like I mainly stream on Twitch, or you mainly are on YouTube, and that's okay. Either way, whatever you want to do is what you want to do. Now if you are on Twitch, definitely have a YouTube, upload VODs. Upload your VODs, upload clips, take your clips, make shorts out of them, upload it onto shorts. Take those same shorts and you can post them on TikTok and on Twitter. You can post on both. That already is Twitch, YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok. That is 4 places already of social media platforms that you are on. Twitter for networking, TikTok for more engagement and people to look at you. Now, the thing is about TikTok is a lot of people do not move from TikTok to other platforms. Same with Twitter. So don't expect them to. Twitch and YouTube are going to be your main places that you should probably be posting up content for people to watch. And guess what? Even those people don't move. So, but you're putting your stuff out there more so people see it, and you might get a few people that will move over to your main source of content. And if not, you can still be able to make money or possibly be able to get something from those other forms of social media. So that's the other thing. I also, of course, have a merch store, which definitely technically isn't anything, but I also have my own website in order for you to look at stuff. I'm also on Kara. That's just for my art. So basically it's like Instagram and Twitter and DeviantArt and all that sort of stuff had a child together. So that's just like so that social media platform in particular is only for my art. But yeah, so just find the stuff that you're comfortable with and do what you do. Do what you want to do. I would recommend also having multiple forms of income if you want to make this into a career. That's why I'm also like, I'm on Twitch, but I'm also on YouTube, and then eventually, like, once I get ad revenue from YouTube, that's gonna be a source of income. And then of course I have merch, and then eventually if ever I get popular on TikTok, well, guess what? That's another form. So but that's like something really later down the line. It's just like what I'm gonna tell you guys is just figure out certain platforms that you want to be on and you want to interact with. Have at least one to interact with people. That would be like Twitter. Have at least one being your main platform of content creation, whether it's YouTube or streaming. You can make your main one on YouTube, but every once in a while stream on Twitch. So you can do that. You can 100% do that. I know plenty of people that do that. Or if you're going to be main on Twitch, then upload your stuff onto YouTube. Definitely. And the great thing is it's an archival system. It's like archived, so you can see how your previous videos have been, and you can see how you can improve upon them. Like, I've improved a lot. I've improved like so much more. One thing I have done, especially with like VTubing, is like I've been emoting a lot more. I'm trying to emote more with my VTuber model. Especially with my 2.0, I'm gonna be able to emote so much more. But yeah. So, screw ads. I hate ads. I hate ads on Twitch as much as everybody else does. But yeah, so that's and then if you're in and then take your clips, edit them, and post them up on TikTok and post them up there. I would also recommend to also make some short form content specifically for short form content. So that's like another one that I would recommend that you do. Again, I wish that some people told me this like very early on, but I think it's just more of people did not explain it. So when you're starting out, I would just recommend just testing stuff and then seeing where it goes. But especially if you're a VTuber, have a Twitter. You do not have to have a Facebook. You do not have to have an Instagram. You don't have to have any of that. You can just make a Twitter. Just start with that. Say that you're going to be starting to create content. Post up your stuff there and post it out for whatever. And then start building a community. Because especially if you're a VTuber, you're going to find more connections on Twitter. That's the main source of networking. And actually, it's the main source of networking for a lot of streamers. So Twitter is just better. These ads are getting rude. I hate that now it's $6 for a sub. I hate that. But yeah. I would also recommend, like, if you're gonna be starting streaming and all of that, to definitely, also open up like a Ko-Fi or something like that. Just because. Like, because later down the line, if you want to do commissions and stuff, it's easy to open it up on Ko-Fi. So, just like a donation thing. Just open it on Ko-Fi for donations. So that then, like, because the thing is that when you're starting out with streaming and YouTube and all of that, there's no way for people to support you. So open up a Ko-Fi, open up like tips on stream elements, like do that sort of stuff as well if you want to start gaining, like, you know, if people are asking to support you in some sort of way. I'm not saying that you should start out that way and just think about money. I'm just saying set it up in case for certain people that want to do that. So yeah. But again, I recommend, especially if you're a VTuber, definitely have a Twitter. Figure out where you're going to stream, Twitch or YouTube, and start doing tests. Start experimenting. And most importantly, have fun. And if you feel at any point when you're streaming or doing your stuff that you really feel like this is not for you, it is okay to stop. It is okay to leave. It is okay to graduate and go. If you really feel like this is not for you. Because people have this fantasization that it's easy and all this sort of stuff. It's not. Content creation is very hard. It is very mentally taxing. You basically are doing a lot more. Is a collab only VTuber? Yeah. So, like, it's very mentally taxing. It's a lot to do. You have to really think about what you're doing with your content, and where you want to go as a content creator. I personally like being my own little gremlin self, but also I like doing this sometimes of like, helping you out with some advice or questions or anything, because like I have knowledge. I'm not smart. I'm not incredibly smart, but that also helps me a lot because I know that not a lot of people really are incredibly smart and know how to do things and move stuff along, right? And yeah, you know, it's great. Now I'm experienced, yeah. Now I will say this much: don't ask me about like sponsorships and all that sort of stuff. The only reason I'm not doing anything of sponsorships and stuff like that is because I just am a person that doesn't want to do that unless it's from a good, reputable place. Unless I know for a fact that they're good. Like, I'm never gonna do a thing with gamer subs. I'm never gonna do a thing with like, I'm never gonna do stuff with, I'm trying to like think of like, gamer subs is the only one. Advanced GG, I'm not gonna do anything with that, with like power drinks and all of that sort of stuff. Because I just don't believe in that. I'm not gonna do anything with like HelloFresh or BetterHelp because I know that those places aren't great. And the other thing is, this is a great advice that I use. If I don't use it and I don't like, if I don't use it or I've never used it before and I didn't have a good experience with it, why would I recommend it to people? That's like the one thing. So don't ask me about sponsorships and stuff like that. Because one, I want to make sure that whoever I'm doing a sponsorship with is good and reputable, and I would actually like to do a sponsorship with them. So yeah. The other thing is that I would say, okay, I'm gonna be honest, I don't like some of this content creators' advice, but if you want to get really good sponsorship advice, I recommend Caitlin. What is her name? What is her name on Twitch? She has a Twitch. Let me just look her up really quickly. Caitlin something. Is it Kathleen? No, I don't think it is. I don't follow her on Twitch. But a lot of people call her Cat. Oh, there it is. Catalente. There you go. I would recommend Catalente for her stuff. And here's how you spell her name. She has a Twitch partner, but it's okay. Oh my gosh, can I like click her name, please? I would 100% recommend Catalente if you want anything on sponsorship advice. And by the way, she's been streaming for about 4 years. So she's probably a little bit more experienced than I am, because I've only been streaming for 3, but only really been and like really keying in on it for the past 2 years. But I would definitely recommend Catalente because she's got a lot of great streaming advice, and especially if you want to look at her sponsorship stuff. She has like a whole entire thing of like email stuff that you can send out to sponsors to say like, hey, can I get sponsored by you? But the only reason why I don't do sponsorships is, one, because I kind of want to have a manager to help me do that, because I'm an idiot and I don't want to sign shit when I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, I don't want to be dumb. So it's like I want to like a manager or something like that that knows this kind of stuff that can help me with it, because I don't want to end up in a bad position, right? And a lot of the time as content creators, we have to be our own managers, and you have to like understand what you're signing up for. For example, when I first was contacted by Candle, I thought it was a scam, but I looked into it a little bit more and I saw what they had, and so the thing is before I affiliated with them, I wanted to make sure that the candles were really good. So I got some. I loved them. I ended up being an affiliate with them, and you can use now a promo code with it for art creates to get 15% off of your order. And eventually, possibly sometime in the future, because they do have me down for becoming a partner with them and eventually getting my own art creates candle, which I am slowly starting to realize that it might be released when my 2.0 is. So I'm gonna probably have to redraw the art that I already have prepared. I'm gonna have to redo it. The funny thing is the scent still works. So that's really funny. But yeah, so so that's like some advice I can probably some extra advice I can give you guys. But yeah. The only problem that I have with Kat here is that some of her advice is really only good if you're a face streamer. Some of it is not really great if you are a VTuber. And I kind of forget what some of the stuff is. But I think a lot of it has to do with TikTok and editing. Like that kind of way of how you're, well, some of her editing stuff is fine. Though I will say I kind of despise how she goes, well, if you're going to do all this editing stuff, you should use Adobe. And she has a partnership with Adobe, so she doesn't even have to probably pay a large majority of what it actually costs to use Adobe products. So just keep that in mind a little bit with like certain people that you follow and want to get advice from. But other than that, she's really great. I do, even though I have some qualms with her, she still is good. As a advice person. And she always gives out really great and like free advice for people. She gives out lots of free stuff. And if you're starting out with streaming, she has a lot of free emotes and other overlays that you can get from her. So yeah. Anyways, without any further ado, I do know who we're going to be rating. Because they're never streaming when I am, but now they are, and I'm going to rate them. But I think that's going to be it. We might do this again another time. So if you have any questions or any further questions that you possibly want to ask at one point, we can do that. But I think that's gonna be it for today. Because I can't think of anything else I can impart my knowledge upon you. Oh, I guess I could impart some VTubing advice. Don't buy a model. When you're first starting out, don't buy a model. Buy like a PNG or like make your own. There's plenty of free PNGs and free VTuber models out there that you can get, or even like really cheap ones that you can get. So like for example, I'm even gonna be making some possibly when I can. Just get them, start streaming, see if you like it. If you're an artist, like make your own. There's plenty of free programs that you can use. There's there's 2 programs for PNG tubers. The one I recommend is Vtube. If you're gonna be starting streaming, if you want to be like a VTuber, start as a PNG tuber and use Vtube. The other one that I would recommend is if you want to go into maybe being a little bit more fancier with your PNG. I would recommend VTuber, PNG Tuber Plus. PNG Tuber Plus. I'm like looking it up right now, so it's on it's on itch.io. Is it free? It does look like it is free. You can always of course like give tips to the creator. But I'm gonna like post this in here, but I will probably post up a picture later. But that's a PNG Tuber Plus. It basically kind of works a little bit as you have to separate it up a little bit like a VTuber. So if you want to start working into doing VTuber models, I think this could help teach you how to separate things up for moving into creating a VTuber model if you're an artist and you want to create your own model. But this is really good if you want to do it. Yeah, add any PNG image you like. Use sprite sheets to have animated sprites. So it's basically kind of working a little bit like how pixel stuff or how like pixel art kind of style does with the animated sprites. So I think that that's really good. And just have fun, and you can support them on Ko-Fi. So definitely support them in what they're creating because this looks really, really great. And people have created some really great stuff with PNG Tuber Plus. So you guys have a lot of fun with it. That's what I would recommend that you start out with. Is go from PNG Tuber, and then if you want to still continue with being a PNG Tuber, you can do PNG Tuber Plus. And then like let's say like you get enough money, like you save up enough money, then you can start thinking of actually making a full model. Or if you are going to make a full model, or if you're having somebody make your full model. Now, a lot of the times in the indie scene, it is going to cost a pretty penny, but that's just because you're paying for the person's experience, you're paying for the amount of separations that it takes, and all the hours that it takes. Like, me redrawing my 2.0 is not going to take as long as if I had started from scratch. If I started from scratch, that's going to take me, I think it took me, for my 2.0, with how it is currently, about 60 or maybe about 80 hours, probably more along the lines of 60 hours, to just make it to what it is. Because I had to scrap a bunch of stuff, I had to like redo stuff and redraw stuff, I had to recolor things, I had to re-edit some stuff here and there, so I've probably spent about 60 hours working on that. For the redraw, might only maybe take me 10-20 hours. And the reason being is because I'm redrawing it from already an established source. So that's why a lot of VTubers usually cost a lot, because you're paying for that and the artist's time, of course. And then it also depends on how much time that they have available to be able to draw your stuff. So that's why sometimes it can take many months. If I had nothing to do on my plate, I could probably make a VTuber model in like a month or two. If I had nothing else on my plate except making that model, I would get it done in a month or two. But if I'm having like other stuff that I'm working on, it's going to take way longer. So that's also another advice. And if you're, you know, and also don't be disrespectful of artists in the VTubing sphere. You do that, you're going to get shunned, because artists really make up the VTubing. Like, without artists, VTubers wouldn't exist. So take due diligence of that. Take extreme due diligence of that. And as an artist in the space that makes VTuber models and has made their own and rigged their own, and literally people going out here and disrespecting, and I just go, I'm an artist, I've made my own model for free for myself through pain, suffering, and tears. I know how much it takes to make a model, and I know why they increase their prices. Even I increased them.
Go ahead, ask an AI to make you a model. Let's see what you get.
Yeah, exactly. They're not going to be good. They're not even separated properly. But yeah, like, you know, we go through a lot to be able to make what we are doing. So just keep that in mind. That's why Fillian is really getting shunned right now, because she's literally showing that she doesn't even care for artists. I didn't even know this. Fillian has an AI art tag. She has an AI art tag. I didn't know this. She allows for our AI artists to make, or quote AI, they're not artists, right? But she has an AI art tag, and I'm like, what the heck? Actually, yeah, I wanted to see an AI try to rig a model. Have you seen AI try to replicate ballet? Oh, they can't. If they can't do that, they can't replicate. They can't replicate how to make a VTuber model. Oh yeah, but they've tried, but it's never been able to separate it correctly. Ever. The only AI that I accept is Neurosama. I love Neurosama. Models making yeah, talking out everywhere but the mouth. Yeah, just imagine that. That'd be so creepy. Ew. Ew. Anyways, I'm gonna exit out there because I don't need that up anymore. Respectfully disagree. Yeah, you know what? Some people don't like Neurosama, other people like Neurosama. I think Neurosama is interesting with how the technology is for Neurosama. I'm not saying that now the thing is that the creator of Neurosama does not want to replace VTubers with how Neurosama is. No, Neurosama was just an experiment to see if it could work, like how it would go. And I would say it's been a huge success. But yeah. But the creator of Neurosama actually has his own VTuber model and also streams with Neurosama. So yeah, he's always constantly kind of there. So to oversee her now, to make sure she doesn't say weird shit. So but yeah, I think that's really cool. And you know, within VTubing, you can once you get off the ground and you're done with your experimenting, you can continue experimenting with how you add to your stream, what you do with your stream, having fun stuff. I've seen a lot of more people doing the doing a punishment wheel like redeem, and I think that that's really cool. The only reason that I wouldn't add it to my stream is I would probably only add it in like certain cases, like let's say maybe for like Phasmophobia, if we played it again, like there would be like certain punishment wheels for that, or for like Hades 2, when we start Hades 2, maybe we'll do like a punishment wheel for that and have some fun stuff. Maybe for art we'll do a punishment wheel. So like there's like punishment wheels for certain stuff that I would have at my disposal, right? Just be fun. Just so it's fun. And just sit there and have fun and enjoyment, right? because that's the main point of it. But yeah, I think that is as much advice as I can give you for the time being. I am like checking over here because I'm making sure that I know who I'm rating. And yeah. Is there any other advice that you guys can? I know this is basically the advice section, right? That I'm entailing upon you. Because there's so much stuff that I wish people had told me at the beginning. I think the last kind of one I can tell you for VTubing specifically is if you're gonna be doing VTubing, it's okay to do rebranding if you don't like how your current content is going. Like, I'm gonna be honest, when I first started out, I was actually supposed to be an elf, and then I changed it to being like a storm deity and being chaotic and all that sort of stuff, and now I'm changing it to being chaos incarnate, right? So like my model and sort of how I want to be is changing, because I wanted to be more family friendly, and then I ended up not being, so I was like, okay, we gotta go more chaotic. And then now we're going just full kind of chaotic off the rails, you know? Why not? Why not? So especially when you're thinking of like, and I think if you think way too much about your branding and your content, you're never going to stream. So just have like a good idea of what you want to start with, and you can, and early on, you can always kind of change it. But one thing I do recommend if you're being a VTuber, like really think about your name, because I have to change mine. Art is still going to be part of it, but Art Creates is just too generic. So that's why I'm going to be called Art Chaotix, so I can get found easier. So you really got to think about like your name so that people can be able to find you. And a lot of people put like VT in their name so that they know like, oh, that's a VTuber specifically. But a lot of people don't completely do that all the time anymore. So what I could recommend to you to do is just think of a really creative, unique name, right? And that's what I just recommend. I think that's the last bit of information that I could give you. Again, we might do this again. I want to do more just chatting streams, honestly, because I think that it's nice and it's just like more chill and more relaxing. Well, I say quote relaxing, but who knows? If we're talking about weird stuff, who knows? But yeah. I think that's it. So I know who we're rating, and I am going to possibly getting the raid message up in a bit, but I just wanted to say something for everybody else. Tomorrow we're streaming. We're doing Stardew, and I have no plans. Probably we're just gonna vibe. It's just gonna be all vibes. Stardew and all vibes. Who knows? I don't got plans for Stardew. I just I had it on the schedule, which I didn't even release the schedule on Twitter. That was a bad for me. I'm sorry. But next week, if I don't say this tomorrow, next week is gonna be art. Maybe start Hades 2, or maybe do a different game. Oh, vibing, yeah. Maybe do a different game, or we're gonna be or doing like something else, and then probably on Saturday is gonna be, I'm gonna call not Saturday, I'm gonna call Sunday Cozy Sunday, and we'll just play like some cozy games. I've been seeing a demo for Glades, what was it, something Glades, and I really kind of want it. I really kind of want to play it. So we will be doing that on Sunday. And just play that, and also play maybe another one that's similar to it, but it's like cyberpunk. So there's like 2 demos that we're gonna be checking out of some cozy game stuff, because I want to I might want to be starting to take a break from Stardew. But we shall see how it ends up, because might be that Stardew might be I like how I'm slowly becoming a Stardew streamer. Like, slowly but surely I'm being cursed to become a Stardew streamer. But we either might start Hades 2 next week. So I don't know what it will be. Hades 2 has been getting some early access updates, but the reason I don't know if I want to play it is because I kind of want to wait until it fully comes out. So we might just be playing something else that I have in my library that I haven't touched in years or something like that. So we'll see. We shall see. Without any further ado, let me get the raid message going. The raid for us. And then let me get the regular raid going. I hate the pop-up now, so now I'm just doing it this way. The old-fashioned way of using the command. So we're gonna raid a good old friend of mine, the garlic boy himself. The garlic boy. The big garlic man himself, Arctic Glacy, and he's like kind of still playing. I think he's trying to complete Tears of the Kingdom, like 100% it. So that's kind of, it seems like that's what he's doing, because I thought he beat it, but I guess not. So without any further ado, we're just gonna go and raid him, have some chill fun, and and also just scream garlic at him. That's mainly what we do. It's like, hey, what? It's like, hey, what do you do here? Oh, you know, we throw shit at Kevin. Glacy is Kevin. We just throw garlic at him. Technically, we should be throwing butter at him, but I mean, I don't think he wants the butter. Goodbye, Storms. But anyways, let me just like end it with a few notes here. The chapter 2 of the comic is coming out in 2 weeks, so be excited for that. If you go onto Candle using my affiliate link, you can be able to get 15% off of your order with Art Creates, and I have merchandise. And I think that's it. And as I always say, may the winds guide you. Until next time. Goodbye, everybody.